Hello there, and welcome to another episode of my Star Wars Minecraft Survival World. And we have a bunch of resources here. So this will be my redstone box. This is what I put together when I was making the Froglight farm last episode because I didn't want to have to keep crafting things like crafters and dispensers and stuff. And then we have these items for the interior of the pillars. I have done a brief design for that. We have a rail box here so I can set up any collection systems. And then we just have a bunch of items for making this whole platform. And I'm not sure if I'll have enough smooth stone. I have 6 shulkers at the moment, but we'll see how that goes. Something else that I thought about was that this sugarcane farm up here needs to be moved somewhere. And the actual platform that I designed in my creative world doesn't have enough thickness to fit this in. But there is a space that does. And between the 2 pillars, there's actually a bridge that is completely enclosed. It doesn't have any windows. So I could just, and also I'm not going to be using that bridge because the hoppers to the main storage actually cover it up. So there's no way for me to get inside. So that bridge could actually just be filled with a sugarcane farm, and if I have enough space, maybe even a bamboo farm. And that way, the second leg of the platform will be used for the storage of the sugarcane and any bamboo that I'm able to get. But for now, I'm going to start by building up the first leg, the first pillar underneath here, which will be the new storage system. And I'm going to build it a little bit lower, the whole platform, so that I can remove this after, once I'm finished. So let's jump to building this pillar out now. The first pillar is done. Next, I will need to add the second pillar before I can add the top platform. However, I've got a couple more bits to add inside. This is the design I went with. It's not supposed to look exactly like the inside of Empire bases. This is the part where it becomes Minecraft. Like the huts in these, they are not exactly like an Ewok house. We've got a couple of bits to fill in here, so even though I don't really need crafting tables, just for the look and because I want the ender chests here, I put stairs there so I can still open this. I'm going to go and put these on each floor except this one. Just to fill in these gaps. And all the floors pretty much look the same other than a few of the chests. And so the other thing I need to do in these rooms is decorate these tables here. I'm just going to basically put items that resemble the blocks. For example, in the gunpowder room, I'll have a mini TNT block that I can craft in the stone cutter, and some just gunpowder laying about in here. And this is actually the bone room. So the way I've done the bones is it will drop off 3 double chests worth of actual bones, which I have in the farm already at the moment. So I'm just going to move them here so as to not waste that space. This is kind of a backup just in case I need bones. And then the rest is going to be bone blocks, which are crafted in the back, which you can't see. You've got the string on the next floor down here, which will all be crafted into wool. And gunpowder at the top, and then the bottom ones will be the other bits. But the first thing I need to do before I move on, the last bit of this first pillar that needs to be done, is actually my system for getting rid of the blocks that I don't need anymore. And basically I'm just going to put them into lava. So this room down here is also empty. I could empty this out and do something with this in the future, but I'm not going to do anything right now. I will just keep it here for if I need it. Right, so we've got that there, and then I need observers here. I'm going to have to go up anyway. So now that should be activating. Yep. And then all I need to do is block up this area and put a lava bucket inside, and we are done. And now the trash chute is complete. Just going to get rid of these blocks, and we will get to add in the next pillar. I do need to do a little bit of designing for that to decide how I actually want it to be, because as I mentioned, I can do the sugarcane and the bamboo in there. And now both of the pillars are finished. Now I have a little bit of an issue in that this area is going to be shaded in by the mob farm. So I do need to add a few lamps in and around here. And this is currently spawning mobs, so that's not great. But first we need to connect up the middle platform and finish off the top platform. And that will be it for this base. As for this second pillar, I will be obviously making the sugarcane farm, so I'm going to have a look at doing that now. And I think actually fitting it through the middle of this will be the best way. And it will just have a little bump on the bottom where the hoppers are, so I'm going to have to... Oops, I missed that. I'm going to have to deal with that. But as for the bamboo, I'm just working out where I can even put it. And I need 5 blocks gap, including hoppers. So I could actually put it up here. There's so many frog lights. I've started using them as building blocks. Oh my goodness. 3, 1, 2, 3. So now everything is in place. All I need to do is add in my bamboo and the front wall, and you will see if I come around to the other side, this is the design for the wall. This is the design for the wall. Now I need to check if I actually have any bamboo. I need 33 pieces. I have one. Fantastic. Guess I'm going to get some bamboo then. I didn't hook it up at the back. Oh, what an idiot. What an idiot. That is fixed. Nice. Time to make the sugarcane farm now. I have been playing about with this tower, and the second pillar is now actually complete. And I also realized somehow, I don't know how I've done this, I built this entire pillar one block too close to this, which actually doesn't make a lot of difference, because all it means is the gap between the yellow circles on top of the platform will just be one block closer. So if you come in here, this will be the sugarcane room. Sugarcane will come into these chests, and then I have an auto crafter in the back, so all of these ones will be paper. This is the setup I've come up with. Kind of simple. There's 7 pistons on each side, and yeah, I'm just going to start placing in this sugarcane and glass. I also already tried to place this sugarcane in once, and then I remembered, like I forget every single time, sugarcane needs to be next to water. So I had to then go in and re-add some water behind, because somehow I forget that every single time. Now, hopefully I haven't missed any spots. And next on the list is the bamboo. So the way I have chosen to go about the bamboo is this will be a chest of bamboo, and you can see it's already coming in because I have that one there. And this will be all wooden planks. So there's an auto crafter in the back that crafts it into the bamboo block and then into wooden planks, which is quite easy because those items don't actually craft anything else, so you can just have observers. And then I have down here, this will all be chests. I mean, probably overdid it, but it's just so that as I'm in the area, it doesn't actually overfill. But if it does overfill, we have one for the sugarcane going down behind here, and one for the remaining chests after everything has been crafted. Once the wooden planks get filled up, then they'll start crafting the chests, so I won't actually get any chests until I have all of the wooden planks full, so I can obviously craft other things, and at that point I'm not using the wood. And then we just have 2 trash bins here to burn all the remaining items. I can't remember why I left this open. Oh yes, I had to come up with something because the bamboo comes out quite quickly and it's all going into one hopper. So I was trying to work out a way, in this much space, how can I lock out the pistons whilst not actually affecting the main redstone line. And this was the best solution I came up with, was 2 torches. So this one is off, and then the comparator reads the signal from this hopper. If this hopper reaches 3 stacks and I think 16 items, then this gets overpowered and it turns on all of the pistons. So that's quite good. And it was very small, so I cleared out all this area for nothing, but luckily nothing's going to spawn there because obviously it's lit up. So let's activate this last farm here. The middle piston is actually just deactivated, and I'm not going to put a bamboo there because there's a repeater there to obviously help extend the signal so that it will switch off the whole farm. But that's it. Those are all done. Now it's just doing the top platform. So let's jump to that now. And now the platform is basically finished. I need to add some of the little details in, and inside the towers still I need to do all of the notification of what is in those sections. But I think the next step, now that this is in and all of the item systems are working, is to start removing this, which is going to be a fun task. So first I'm going to have to empty out all of these chests, and for some reason my flight just stopped. Not sure why that was. So let's get to removing this now. Yes, this is all cleared now. However,
something terrible has happened. Young Skywalker is in pain. Terrible pain.
I realise there is a problem with what I have built. Let me just go and show you something. Yep, if you know anything... Wait. Why did some of them pick up? Either way, they're not all picking up. I'm not sure why some of those did, because if I go into Spectator here, you can see they're all still there, but they just don't pick them up because of the carpet, unfortunately. Now, I can't just have this magma block showing on top of this. That kind of leaves me with only one real option, and I'm going to have to go and do that now. So what I need to do is actually take these up, put hoppers down in the correct positions, put the minecarts on top of them, then break the rails, and actually use a piston to push the magma block into the hopper minecarts. That way it will pick up every time. I am back over in my creative world because I have been testing out what area I actually need to put these hopper minecarts into the magma blocks, and I realised I actually built even this pillar one block to the side. I centered it around minus 148, and if I come up here to this, I actually centered this around minus 149. So that's a bit awkward. However, what it does mean is that not only did I build both pillars one block too far into the center, it worked out perfectly for the bamboo farm that I put, because it meant I only needed one repeater for the lockout system. So sometimes, when you make a mistake, it actually leads to making the next part of the build easier, and it hasn't really affected the visuals as it's still falling around this center platform. I will need to put these red carpets one to the side, and they're just for me to mark out the area in which I need to place all of these hopper minecarts. Okay, so I am set up with a nice barrier there for me to attach the pistons to, and I'm going to have to do it 3 at a time, because if I put any more than that down, they start to push each other out of the way. I need to remember where the lights go as well, so we put these down, and I can come up here, get rid of this dirt, and just take some redstone blocks, and that should do the job. That's not a good sign. I'm also going to have to push that in there. Oh dear. This is tricky. Okay, I am about to try something a little bit weird, and I am going to use some commands. I'm going to use the commands to delete the rails underneath these, and then hopefully these won't be hitting any minecarts right now. So if I do /fill, and then we need our coordinates, which is minus 160. Let's say we go down to 1111 just to be sure. Minus 885, and then we're going to... I went a little bit past the box just to make sure I get all of them. To 115 to minus 861. And then we say air replace rail. Okay, they all drop down. That looks good. Let me finish up these pistons. Okay, all of the pistons are in place. Now I need to place in all of my blocks. Alright, everything is in place and ready. This is the moment of truth to find out, have I come up with a good idea or a terrible idea? they're all in place. The middle currently doesn't work. So what happens? This might just work. Right, that's all done. Now comes the tricky part. Hold on a minute. We may be onto something here. Are they still in there? They are. Oh, this could be it. This actually, yeah, I'm happy with this. Right, they're all in place, and they've all pushed each other, and somehow this might just work. Actually, I need to remove the rails, so we're just going to redo that same command. Gets rid of all the rails. Oh, this is really satisfying as well, being able to do it this way. And also, luckily, when I was clearing out this other bit, I had actually switched the farm off by turning off the repeater system and then just going in and putting some torches. Some creepers did blow up a couple of blocks, but because I used deep slate, it's actually got some decent blast resistance. So if I'd used stone for that, my farm would have probably just been destroyed. Right. Judging by the fact that there are no loose blocks sitting on the magma, I'm going to assume it worked. Time to place the carpet back in and just do some testing with dropping some blocks around and making sure it all ends up in the farm. So if I just chuck this, right, that's a dead area. I mean, it seems to all be working. And it also looks a lot cleaner up here, so I'm quite happy about that. So that's the first commands I've used to do something on this world, if I remember correctly. I don't think I used them anywhere else. Which means now we need to reactivate this farm. And you can see the floors have torches on them. It's easier to reactivate because I just come here, flip the switch, and that should, in a moment, set off and break all of those torches. So we're just going to check that that works. There we go. Nothing spilling out. No issues. I'm going to go in here, get all my items, and then we'll check back up the top what drops are sitting on there and if there's going to be any issues. Oh, look, there's a zombie villager, a baby zombie. Oh, the baby zombie died.
It's working! It's working!
Right after AFKing for a night, I did run into a little issue, and the bone blocks, they're now coming through. The crafter for setting it to bone mill before it goes into the bone blocks actually had a couple of rails stuck in it. All of the other floors are working now, and luckily the bones, once they had filled up inside of here, they actually ended up just down in my bottom area where I have all the extra items that don't get sorted out. So I came through and crafted all of those up and put them back in the chests. So now this is all working. There are two things left to do on this, which is all the little decorations, the pipes, the boxes and things on top, and the AFK spot. However, as you see, my tools are struggling and my food is annoying me. So before I build this AFK spot, I think it's time to get to building what I mentioned in the previous episode, which is a gold farm. this is my view while I'm AFKing. And if you take a look here, I now have 389 levels. So that's quite a lot. I don't think I'm going to need many more. And the rates are, I mean, they're decent. Obviously, this is after about 8 hours. So I will probably make another gold farm, which will be attached to the piglin bartering. And for that one, I will try to find something that gives a lot more gold. Although looking at it, this is a good rate. It's not the best available, but it does give me the XP, which is the reason I wanted this. And it's fully AFK, and you get the gold ingots from it as well. So that leaves me with one more thing left to do this episode. And also can't even get down this hole. I went way over the top with my storage system. I have all of these boxes available, and that is because obviously I'm going to be repairing tools here and things, getting XP. So why not just have loads of storage, and this one I can just AFK multiple times and get lots of gold. So that'll be enough for my golden carrot usage forever. So let's head back. That's the other farm. Let's head back and start working on the final build for this episode. After some time tidying up and working on the little details, this area is actually now finished, and I actually couldn't be more happy with it, to be honest. Everything's come together really nicely, especially the ships in the air, and just putting a bit of detail on top of this platform now, as well as something else that I did, which was, we come down into here, I started putting some stuff in these rooms, and I realised I actually need a second trident now, because I already used Riptide on my first trident, so I actually need a second one to get the mob heads, because if you see on the spider floor, I did get a cave spider head when I was collecting up cobwebs for the ships. And basically now, just when I'm climbing through the floors, I can tell which floor I'm on, and you'll see got some mini TNT blocks on here and some gunpowder and fireworks, and the arrows floor and the rotten flesh floor, there's not really much to put here other than the mob heads, so just simple that one, and then the redstone and glowstone and other bits that pop out down this bottom area. I also, you see I'm eating the golden carrots now, I did use one of these spaces down here just to start farming some carrots, and I actually stood here for quite a bit of time because now I have an entire shulker box full of golden carrots, so I never need to worry about baking potatoes again. And also when I take damage now, I just regenerate a lot faster, so that's quite nice. At the moment I just have this hole open here, and I still have my frostwalker boots on. I didn't realise that. Obviously I was using the frostwalker because of all the magma blocks. And if we come over to this side, you'll see the sugarcane was pretty hard to do because again nothing is 3D from the sugarcane. But the bamboo area looks quite cool. We've got some of the bamboo blocks and the bamboo planks, and we even put one in a flower pot. I wanted to do that with the sugarcane, but you can't do it apparently. And the final room, which is my chest room. So again, these are just the ingredients. There are no chests in here yet, but we are getting very close to the point where we start actually getting the chests, because now I have a lot of bamboo wood, which basically now anytime I craft redstone components, I just come straight to this room, and it's really quite nice to have that, as well as the paper being already a lot. These are filled out with sugarcane from before, but the paper I've got nearly 6 double chests full, so that's all auto crafted. And yeah, I'm really happy with how this island has come together. And to be honest, for a first base, it was quite a lot to build. Now, there are 2 other things that I did mention that I would add here, but obviously you've just seen in the time-lapse I built this, and I haven't actually shown what I did inside here either. So obviously I need to be able to get in there to AFK in there. So I have one of those, whatever you call them, the portal/wall jump pads, and this is just the spot. You'll just sit in here and you can kind of see out. Unfortunately you can't see down, but I did like a basic design in here, just some seats and some kind of storage in the back, and this is where I'll put my items when I AFK, just in case I die of hunger or anything weird happens. But hopefully nothing's going to spawn in here anyway, so I should be fine. And it's a bit dark in this room, but I guess I'll leave that for now. And then I just come straight to the front and I shift, and that's it. For the pipes around the edges, I put some slabs and then just walls going down with iron bars at the bottom. I thought this looked quite nice for like a little box, because there's some, I don't know what they are, they're like little antennas on top of the platform as well, and these are just like storage boxes. I didn't really want to put shulker boxes or barrels because they they de-render at a certain distance. So that is how it is. And yeah, obviously I'm losing some items, but I get enough items that it's not really an issue, and I can AFK enough because I have other things to do in my life. I can just sit here and most of the items get picked up, and it never becomes an issue with the lag. And to be honest, even at night time, I think this base looks quite cool because it makes the top areas kind of stand out, and even when you come down into the trees, you really don't notice that it's nighttime. The amount of times I've been gathering items running around here, and there's never phantoms because there's always stuff above me, and it's all lit up on this, and everything around me is kind of darkened out, and I just think it's come together really nicely. So I'm happy, and that's going to be all the building for this episode. The 2 other things I mentioned, which were the satellite dish, is going to be maybe a little bit out of the render zone of my PC, so I'll see how that goes. Obviously it would be over here where the Guardian farm is rather than behind the landing platform. The Death Star, I think if I do that, it will be much later into the game. I'm not going to mess around with doing that now when I haven't got all my farms built. I haven't got an automatic cobble generator either. So I think what I will do is I will call it as this initial base is done. However, there is one thing which I am going to be doing next episode, which I have been looking forward to the most, which is essentially populating the area. So I'm going to go around, I'm going to set up all the armor stands, I'm going to make all of the scenes that I want to have, maybe put some players out on these as well, and just put some life inside of the build. So I'm looking forward to that. I also just wanted to say thank you for the people who subscribed. It's quite nice to see someone actually like my videos, and I am currently 1 week ahead on the recordings, so when this video comes out I would have technically edited the video for the next week already, or be in the process of editing it. But other than that, that is everything for today, so thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode.